So I'm currently staying in a little beach house, as you can see, there's the beach. After like one of the most busy periods in my entire life, and I've been wanting to make this video forever, so I just thought this was the perfect moment for a little bit of reflection and to tell you guys what I've been up to for the past year. So I'm starting a little Business Diaries series where I want to take you through the process of running and growing my activewear brand, Headlinerz Dancewear. Yeah, saying that out loud still sounds crazy to me because for so many years this has just been like a dream or an idea in my head, and just last January I decided to really put my foot on the gas and see how far I could take this. And then fast forward to now, it's been more than a year and I officially launched my business in September of 2024, and I now have 3 products on the market. So today I just wanted to share some highlights of everything that happened between January 2024 and now to bring you up to speed and hopefully offer some value. So I also have my notes right here, by the way, because I don't want to yap and talk for about half an hour because we don't need that, okay? So this brand was an idea that prior to me starting the actual business had been floating through my head for about 1.5 years for a very good reason, because it was still very relevant and there was still a big gap in the market as far as I could tell. As a dancer, I just always been a fan of these big brands in America and Australia that had the best dancewear, but also just had this big community of dancers surrounding it. And we just did not have that in Europe. And beside that, most professional schools here have an all-black dress code, which can feel a little bit restricting and basic. So with Headlinerz Dancewear, I also want to show that within those rules, there is still room for fun and expression. And I also just really wanted to make original designs that could help dancers really stand out in a room filled with dancers who are trying to be seen. Then when I started my performing arts school journey, I was even more convinced that this was still something that was missing. So literally on New Year's Eve 2024, I decided time for new beginnings. So the first thing I did when I really decided to set my plan in motion is to buy a domain and hosting for my website. So your domain would be the name or your internet address, so literally what it says on the top. And then your hosting is kind of like renting a space on the internet where you can store your files. I already had my business name and logo picked out from years prior when I was just fantasizing about the brand, so that was really easy for me. And once that was done, I made an appointment at the Chamber of Conference here in the Netherlands to actually register as a business. And then came a bunch of research on what it means to actually start a business. And also the fun part, the creative direction, and the designing. Because I still had a bunch of designs from the years before, but I took one look at those and decided they absolutely sucked. So I started over designing my very first collection, now named Shoot for the Stars, recognizable also by the star in each design. And this collection consists of 3 products: the Rockstar sweatpants, the Stargirl top, and the Starstruck bodysuit. So now I have my first draft of the products, but I can't draw very well, and also I know nothing about clothing production. So I paid someone to make me a tech pack, which is basically like a blueprint for a certain product and contains like a detailed drawing, specifications, fabrics, and anything that a manufacturer might need to know before being able to make this product. Now, searching for the actual manufacturer, that was the real challenge, because I have searched the entire internet and landed on 2 manufacturers that I thought would work best for these products. But honestly, deciding on a manufacturer is still the biggest challenge for me, because I feel like every factory has its upsides and downsides, obviously, so it's just a matter of really setting priorities. And for my current collection, I'm actually working with an entirely different manufacturer again to see if that might be a better fit. So this is still a big challenge. So once I found my manufacturers, the sampling process began, and that can take very, very long, and it did. For one of the products, the Rockstar pants, we did 4 samples, making changes every time. So fun fact, the first iteration actually had a zipper down the side, but I realized that I absolutely hate zippers on the side when I'm doing like floor work in dance, because the metal thing always hurts your ankle, you know? So I took it out because I was like, why would I put that in there if I hate it? So that was the realization for me that I obviously need to check for functionality in my samples. But yeah, the production of these pants was actually pretty fast, and I received 7 boxes of pants by the end of June, which was absolutely crazy. And then for the top and body, I'm not gonna lie, the sampling process was an absolute hell. It was just not working the way I intended it to, and every sample took another few weeks and was just taking very long, and I was honestly ready to like give up on this one. Then the last sample we did, I just tried some different things, like doing 3 straps down the back instead of just the 2. which fixed a lot of problems. So I was finally ready to confirm the production in November. So since the pants ended up being ready way before the other two products, I decided to launch the business with just the pants, which meant it was time to actually do my social media marketing. And let me tell you, that is so much work. I completely get why companies would hire an in-house social media manager because, wow, I really underestimated that. But luckily I do get some compliments, so I guess I'm doing pretty fine for now. And it was also time to plan the photo shoot, which sounds really fun, and it was. Obviously I made my little Pinterest boards and mood boards and everything and brainstormed about locations, but I wanted to keep it very low budget as I just spent so much money on my whole stock. But lucky for me, going to a performing arts academy, because I texted my principal during her vacation, which was a very scary thing to do, and asked her if we could use one of the dance studios. And then I texted my friend Haley to see if she would model for me. And then I assembled my crew, which was just my mom on the transport and mental support, and my sister on the behind the scenes duty, and Haley as a model, and then me as like the creative director, photographer / model kind of person. And we just shot this thing on iPhone and took as many pictures and videos as we possibly could, and just shot everything we could think of for the website and the social media, etc. Coffee break. Okay, so I won't bore you with everything that I had to go through before actually launching, but let's just say that it was a lot of website building, more social media, getting the shipping set up, the copywriting, and the packaging. That was another super fun thing to design. And then it was finally time to actually put this out into the public. And I was so grateful and super surprised that people were actually waiting for me to launch this, because as soon as it went online, people started ordering, which was crazy. And then for the second drop, which was the top and the bodysuit, it was about the same process, but now I decided to rent a photo studio. And mind you, we were still shooting on iPhone. So I took my trusty crew with me, which was mom, me, sister, and then this time two of my other gorgeous friends, Pebbles and Caroline, as models. Yeah, I'm just also very lucky that I have about 100 model-worthy dancers around me every day. So yeah, we just shot content and product pictures in super speed to get as much use out of our studio time as possible. And we were absolutely in love with this hair blower thingy that I now want in my home. Seriously, it's great. But the timing of this was also very tricky because I remember receiving the production just a few days before having planned the actual shoot, and then I had my launch planned very closely after that. So finally I got to finish and put this whole collection online by December. So that means it took a year for me to go from the ground to having a full collection up, which is pretty cool, I think. So yeah, I'm obviously working on the next products already, but that takes a while if you hadn't noticed yet. And in the meantime, I actually got to do a few in-person pop-ups at events at my school and a dance competition, where I got to meet a bunch of dancers and get on stage during awards and talk about my brand. And I hope I get to do those kind of pop-ups a lot more, because that was just a really fun way to meet a lot of dancers in real life. So I am absolutely sure that this could grow into something really big, and I just can't wait to show you what I'm working on next and to take you through the whole process. So let me know if there's anything that you want me to go into detail about, and obviously don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss the next diary episode. Oh, and also maybe follow the socials if you want to stay up to date. So that's just Headlinerz Dancewear on both Instagram and TikTok. And I'll see you next time. Bye! It's getting hot in here.